What's up, guys? It's me, Nwalo Bomber. Welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Explained. Today I will be discussing one of the well-known aspects of Kingdom Hearts, the Heartless. The Heartless have been a core part of the series since the first 10 minutes of the first game. There's a lot of info on the Heartless said explicitly in the game and other info that you have to look up. So the Heartless are considered to be the representation of the darkness in people's hearts. They have existed since darkness has been in people's hearts. But they were first discovered and made public by Xehanort. Heartless were essentially the essence of people. Now, of course, just like the last two videos, Heartless are in two categories. You have Pureblood Heartless and Emblem Heartless. I will first talk about Pureblood Heartless. These Heartless are considered natural Heartless. What I mean is that these Heartless are born from the darkness of people. When someone, regardless of who they are, assuming they have darkness, succumbs to the darkness within their heart, their bodies and soul will fade and their hearts will be enveloped by darkness. When this happens, a Heartless is made. When someone becomes a Heartless, they have the possibility of becoming a few different breeds of Heartless, depending on their amount of darkness and control over it. They can range from a simple shadow, which is the most common form of Heartless, to even being a humanoid Heartless. I'm going to place emphasis on something I stated earlier, and that is, you need darkness to become a Heartless. The only people who can't produce a Heartless are the princesses of heart, or the people who have had their hearts stripped clean of darkness. In Kingdom Hearts 2, it was discovered that if the heroes were to somehow find a way to eliminate all darkness in every person's heart, Heartless wouldn't exist. Now, the nature of Heartless are essentially all the same. They have certain animalistic natures to them that makes them a complete beast. They are stated to lose all their feelings along with their mind. This is a very important point on Heartless. However, if the heart is strong enough, and by strong enough I mean absurdly powerful, then the Heartless can retain the mind and the feelings that they had when they were human. However, this has only happened twice, and both instances were with two people who have the strongest hearts known to man. This is, of course, Sora and Xehanort. Xehanort maintained his human form and stayed intelligent enough for human speech, and manipulated and plotted as well. Sora was able to continue to act on his feelings towards his friends in Kairi, which allowed him to not mindlessly attack Donald or Goofy, and instead act on Sora's own personal feelings. Now, the difference between Xehanort and Sora was that while Xehanort was able to maintain his human self as a Heartless and maintain proper intellect, Sora really couldn't. He was forced to be a Shadow Heartless. This is because while both of their hearts were strong enough to maintain their feelings as a Heartless, Xehanort had a sufficient amount of darkness, and he also had a very good control over it. Meanwhile, Sora was lacking in this category. Another thing about Purebloods is that when they are destroyed, the heart inside the Heartless will fade with them. You don't see the heart when they die. The Heartless will just turn into a puff of smoke. The other kind of Heartless to talk about are Emblem Heartless. These are artificial Heartless made by Xehanort during his time as Ansem's apprentice. The reason why they're called Emblem Hearts is because, well, there's an emblem on it. This is a proper way to differentiate the natural-born Heartless from the manufactured ones. Now, the thing that made these Heartless was a machine located in Hollow Bastion in Ansem's study. These machines replicate the process of a heart being consumed by darkness with actual test subjects' hearts in the tubes that make them. Now, Emblem Heartless all vary even more than Purebloods. Some Heartless are built as a standard foot soldier, some are built to be colossal monsters, some have an affinity to a certain type of magic or element, the list goes on. Now, the difference between Emblem Heartless and Pureblood Heartless is that when an Emblem Heartless is defeated, the heart that is released doesn't fade, as the heart that was in the Emblem Heartless didn't originally belong to that Heartless. As such, the heart is open for recapture, either by another Heartless or by somebody else. However, in order to make the heart irretrievable to the Heartless. The Emblem Heartless must be killed by the Keyblade. I don't know why, maybe it's stated somewhere, but when an Emblem Heartless is killed by the Keyblade, the heart can no longer be retrieved by other Heartless, allowing other people to take the heart. This is how Xehanort, or I should say Xemnas, was able to use the Keyblade wielders to serve his own means to make Kingdom Hearts. If you were to think there is a big difference between Emblem Heartless and Pureblood Heartless with their nature or what commands them, you'd be wrong. Emblem Heartless and Pureblood Heartless both have beast-like natures. They both attack purely on instinct, so they don't often work together. I mean, you do see them work together from time to time, but it's kind of rare. Also, their intellect is kind of on the weak side. Because of this, if they aren't attacking on random like some beast, then they are typically following the orders of somebody. They only take orders from people who have a strong use of darkness. They don't necessarily have to have a heart to do so. Actually, it's more risky if you have a heart because you run the risk of the Heartless attempting to take your heart, as seen with Maleficent. They will not discriminate and they will not hesitate. Now, even though all Heartless have different designs, they all follow the same base format for their appearance. Typically ranging from black to purple to dark blue in color, have yellow beady eyes, sometimes have antennae. Now, all Heartless, Pureblood, and Emblem have one goal: to capture as many hearts as possible, to reproduce as many Heartless as possible. They are attracted to all hearts and won't pay any attention to any non-living heart. Xehanort and the other apprentices in Hollow Bastion used both living and non-living test subjects for the Heartless, and they only reacted to the living ones. They don't just go after people, they also go after worlds. If the Heartless find the keyhole to the world, then they pretty much found an entrance to the world's heart. They do something to the world's core, and they swallow the world in darkness. When this happens, the remnants of the world are brought to a special world called the End of the World. This place serves as the Heartless of all the worlds. Another thing about Heartless is that they have great fear of the Keyblade. Because of this, it is also a Heartless's objective to take out any Keyblade wielders they come across. So they use the Keyblade as sort of a homing beacon to attract them to Keyblade wielders. One last thing about Heartless is that Pureblood Heartless, when they come into contact with someone who is a Princess of Hearts, it's possible to return them to their human form. This was how Sora got back to his human form in Kingdom Hearts 1 after becoming a Heartless. Kairi used her special powers as a Princess of Heart to turn Sora back to the way he was. Now, the person would have remembered their time as a Heartless, but they will have no memory of their time as a special being, which serves as a byproduct of turning into the Heartless, which I will cover next week. That being the Nobodies. Well, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys rate, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys sponsor my channel. Be sure to check in next week when I talk about Nobodies. This has been Noir Low Bomber, and I'm out.